audience today was farmers, Ottawa County, Sandusky, some Lucas County farmers, and the whole reasoning about what we did was we had our speakers were farmers and relaying their message to the farmers in the audience. So they were talking about what they are doing on the land to make things better for Lake Erie. Agriculture is certainly a part of the problem, but we're also a huge part of the solution. 80% of the watershed or more is agricultural lands, so obviously it's going to be a large part of the issue of nutrients getting into Lake Erie. So the farmers can have the largest impact to make a difference immediately on the lake. We like to promote what we call our best management practices, BMPs, and that can be anything from soil testing, so we know exactly what is the right nutrients to put on the field for the crops that are there. Cover crops, which is basically a sacrificial crop we plant in the fall, so you have a green cover on the land throughout the year, through the winter time. Something called water control structures. These are structures that we put on the end of subsurface tile drains that hold water back in the field. So in turn, we're holding the nutrients back on the farm where it needs to stay. The first program we're introducing is called the Ohio Working Lands Buffer Program. So farmers can get paid to install a hay and grass crop up to 300 feet from an environmentally sensitive area, which would be a ditch, stream, any kind of direct inlet to the lake. So they'll get paid to put a hay crop there where they normally wouldn't, and they can actually harvest that and remove some of those nutrients from the field.
It's land that I've operated for a number of years. It's been in operation and in my family for about 3 generations. Farmers are making changes because they understand the economics of reduced fertilizer has a lot of benefit. Right now, the economics of grain crops and farming commodities in general are at some of the lowest profit margins they've been in a number of years and decades. In my opinion about the Lake Erie Bill of Rights, it's one of those things where I believe it's something where people just don't understand why we're having the problem and don't understand the fact that agriculture is making its best effort it can to adapt and to do some things proactively to improve the watershed. Every farmer wants to do their part in being responsible for the watershed and the water quality in the Lake Erie. It's near and dear to us, and we all want to make a part to improve some things because it's certainly going to benefit everyone.
We have to respect the laws of the country. I mean, we're a democracy and it was voted in, so we have to deal with it. As a farmer, I feel I'm doing the right things, and I feel there's an opportunity to take cheap shots at us that are not proper. I mean, we're an easy target, very easy target, and I don't think our story's been told or believed. We try to keep our ground covered year-round. We try to impact a raindrop's an explosion on the ground. So we try to stop that at the beginning. So I can't control the water coming down, but I can control it when it hits. So what I want to do is stop that and start from there, and then control the practices that stop the water from leaving the land and leaving the soil in place. I had to buy my farm. I wasn't gifted one. And I'll be darned if I'm going to let it go down the creek. I paid for it. It hurt to pay for 25 years, and I plan on keeping the soil I paid for. But it's still always going to be a challenge. I don't see any of this the legal stuff as a real big issue because I'm doing the right things and I don't worry about it. It's another year, and the weather's more of a challenge than anything.
This is an augmented reality sandbox. We received a grant from the Ohio Environmental Education Fund, and this is a great hands-on tool for adults and kids to show them how to read a topographic map, different watershed qualities, and how soil erosion works on a landscape model. And it projects these lines onto sand. And when you manipulate the sand with your hands, the topographic lines automatically change to show you how the topography has changed. A lot of things go into the rain, such as sediment and nutrients, and so we can show how that eventually is going to end up into the water body, even though it's not right next to the water.
We're trying to develop additional really funding sources, additional kind of innovative ways to bring funding to farmers to help them implement conservation practices on the farm.
One thing that I'm interested in working on is really trying to develop these environmental markets types programs. So there's things that farmers can do at the farm level that create a lot of different environmental benefits. So AFT is working in a way to create environmental markets where farmers can get paid for those additional benefits that they provide along with the commodity that they're producing. So if they're providing wildlife habitat or pollinator habitat or helping provide cleaner air and cleaner water, let's pay farmers for those environmental benefits that they provide along, again, with those commodities that they're producing.